Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Just kidding. This is my second time making a YouTube video. So here goes my second theory, Christopher Pena. And I went for the labeling theory this time simply because I definitely agree with the labeling theory. I like the fact that they are taking both perspectives, or I guess focusing on both, not just why a deviant or why someone who is deviant commits deviant acts, but what and why they're labeled deviant and what makes somebody think that there is a deviant act being made. So here goes nothing. So in the early 1960s, a group of sociologists were the ones who developed what was now known the labeling theory. So as labeling theorists, they focus on the dynamic process of symbolic interaction between both deviants and non-deviants, asking their two questions and focusing on who applies the deviant label to whom, and what consequences does labeling have on both parties. So the first question, who applies the deviant label to whom, was something that I would definitely ask, because I was wondering who allows them to label who and what is deviant to whom as a labeler. And the second question I didn't understand and wasn't really sure why they were asking it until I finished reading the theory, which was, what consequences does labeling have on both parties? What consequences do they have after labeling somebody or being labeled, which ended up being extremely interesting. So for the most part, the people who label deviants for breaking the law and morality are police, judges, prison guards, psychiatrists, and other social control agents. While on the other hand, examples of the people who are being labeled usually are criminals, juvenile delinquents, drug addicts, mental patients, and prostitutes. Labeling theorists had two ideas, one being interaction and two being symbolic. Interaction should not focus on just a deviant person, but instead the relationship between the supposed deviant and other. While symbolic is the interaction between the supposed deviant and the conformitist, based off meaning they impute to each other's actions and reactions. And to shed some light on the consequences when labeling someone, especially when it's false or misjudgment, I think the biggest consequence someone can suffer from is being told they are deviant while not being deviant, and setting their mindset to a lower standard of what they're able to achieve and who they really are. It's unfortunate that that's actually a thing. So to be able to label somebody and have that power should not be taken for granted. So I think this labeling theory has been really interesting on how both parties work, not just the deviant side, but both labeling and receiving. So that's that. The labelers and the receiving party.